Red or white seedless grapes, hot price only $3.99 per pound. Fresh beef round stew beef, $6.99 per pound. ShopRite broccoli florets, 16-ounce bag, hot price $2.99. Kellogg's Fruit Loops, 19.4-ounce box, family size, hot price $8.49. Save $1.60 on Purex liquid laundry detergent, 50-ounce bottle, hot price $4.99. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Tuesday, January 22nd, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. A number of proposed new taxes and reforms to existing taxes outlined in government's pre-budget report. The document released on Monday by Minister of Finance Curtis Dickinson outlines plans for the 2019-2020 budget. According to the minister, these proposals and reforms will be put out for public consultation before any final decisions are made. Gary Moreno has been looking at the document and gives us some insight as to its contents.
The goal of the 2019-2020 budget will be to ensure that all Bermudians benefit from our economy's success while we grow Bermuda's economy.
A truly noble intention, but at what cost? Now, before we go into those details, though, bear in mind that these are so far only proposals. If they do come into being, though, property owners who are receiving rental income may not be too happy. In keeping with the proposal from the Tax Reform Commission, government is considering the implementation of a commercial and residential tax aimed at generating $41 million in revenue. It will take the form of a progressive tax based on the annual rental value of the property. There will, however, be exemptions in areas such as economic empowerment zones. Land tax is also being revisited. Government is contemplating amending the land tax structure for properties with an ARV below $22,000. Owners of properties within that bracket currently pay a maximum of $286 per year in land tax. This compared with the average of $1,116. What's more, in an effort to possibly encourage land to be converted to best use, government is looking at putting in place a tax on vacant land. The proposal comes out of a 1999 report on Bermuda's tax system. Now, such a tax, it is felt, would raise the opportunity cost of, among other things, holding land for speculative purposes. Elsewhere, owners of commercial properties could see their land tax rate go from 7% to 8%, while the land tax on tourist properties could increase from 7% to 7.5%. Again, these are just proposals. And businesses are not being overlooked. They could end up having to pay 7.5% on professional services provided by non-Bermudian entities to local companies, as well as international companies located here, particularly where those services could be provided locally. There are also suggested increases in registration fees for larger companies, a general service tax of 5%, and an increase in foreign currency purchase tax from 1% to between 1.25 and 1.75%. However, in keeping with an initiative announced in the 2018-2019 budget, government is weighing extending the provision of a 2-year payroll tax relief for local and international companies for new positions created on island. The extension will, if it comes to fruition, form part of the Economic Substance Incentive Program. And remember the statement from Premier David Byrd that 2018-2019 will be the last year for increased debt? Well, it appears that's been pushed back a bit.
2020-21 budget is forecasted currently to be in surplus. The debt will crest this year, and next fiscal year we anticipate that it will go down. Next fiscal year, I'm talking about 2021.
Meanwhile, there may well be payroll tax relief for the retail sector and its almost 3,500 employees. As part of efforts to create increased employment in retail, consideration is being given to providing some measure of payroll tax relief for retail businesses with payrolls of more than $1 million. And more good news could come in the form of duty relief on certain essential food items and even apparel, according to the report. However, if you fancy a tipple, prepare to pay more for that drink, as the plan is to increase duties on alcohol. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Gary. Meanwhile, Nick Kemp, the shadow finance minister, has taken issue with the proposed new taxes and reforms to existing taxes, as outlined in the pre-budget report unveiled yesterday by Curtis Dickinson, the Minister of Finance. The shadow minister criticizing the document as containing proposals which only make life more difficult for residents.
The PLP is again raising taxes on Bermudians without sharing sacrifices by curtailing its own spending. It's also failing on its platform promise to balance the budget by 2019. Increasing taxes when the economy is performing poorly is never a good idea. However, if the sacrifice were shared by government, the budget could not only be balanced this year, but more could be spent on infrastructure and more money could be put towards paying down our debt. The pre-budget report dedicates no fewer than 6 pages to ways in which it would like to increase the tax burden by another $150 million. Small businesses are already suffering under the tax burden, and yet there is seemingly zero intention in this pre-budget report to curb total government spending. The report mentions an efficiency committee completed in September 2018. What I'd like to know is what savings are highlighted by this report. If savings are to be achieved, why is government spending not going down in 2019-20? Will that report be released publicly in the spirit of transparency as part of the pre-budget report process? It would be great if Bermudians who are providing feedback to government could also help to assist prioritize where savings could be found.
And Mr. Kemp suggests the pre-budget report is lacking in substance in at least one very important area.
The whole report's very light on economic plan. It states that government's focused on stimulating the local economy. However, it would be great to know what exactly has been done to justify that statement. On another point, time and time again, the Premier has refused to state the number of fintech jobs, despite last year confidently predicting that jobs were just around the corner. I also question if the money from the various fintech MOUs has been included in the expected revenues, or is that all smoke and mirrors too? On page 23, the report states an intention to take forward the work of the Bipartisan Committee on Immigration Reform, which was set up after the previous Bipartisan Immigration Working Group finished its report in 2017. It's starting to feel like a case of death by committee. What are the timelines for completion of this process? There are many major economic challenges faced by Bermuda that are intricately linked to immigration, so communication and leadership on this topic are desperately needed. If you are as concerned as we are at the number of tax increases and that there is zero commitment from government to sharing the sacrifice, please let your concerns be known.
Coming up, cyber tips, your latest weather news, and more. Stay with us.
From the very beginning, it was always our singular focus to do whatever it takes, use every possible resource to fight cancer, and never lose sight of the patients we're fighting for. Our cancer treatment specialists share the same vision. Experts from all over the world working closely together to deliver truly personalized cancer care. And these are the specialists we're proud to call our own. Expert medicine works here. Learn more at cancercenter.com. Appointments available now.
You can count on us.
Your choice, potatoes, 5-pound bag, only $4.49. Fresh Purdue oven stuffer roaster at $1.99 per pound. Regular pasta sauce, 24 to 29 ounce jar, hot price $2.69. Tama spaghetti, linguine, or fettuccine pasta, 500 gram bag, hot price $1.69. Chobani Greek yogurts, 5.3 ounce tub, hot price $1.69. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
At Argus, our interest is you. Each of you. Around here, we know that when two people seem the same, they can have very different insurance needs. For their health, home, work, and future. Which is why we take the time to get to know you as an individual, so we can provide insurance coverage that fits your life. Because after all, our interest is you.
Welcome back. What ordinarily would be behaviors associated with growing teens, such as mood swings, withdrawal, and irritability, could actually be masking clinical depression and anxiety. The Bermuda Mental Health Foundation says teens or young people suddenly acting out just might be crying out for help. Jasmine Patterson tells us more.
How can you tell if your child or teen is struggling with their mental well-being? It can be virtually impossible if the family structure is not functioning, so says a local psychologist.
The family unit is very powerful and survives a lot, but sometimes at a cost. And certainly when there's stress, extended stress in the family, communication gets warped and some of that normal sharing of things doesn't occur.
Social media is still a new phenomenon for those working in the mental health profession to unravel. However, they say bullying does rear its ugly head. Depression and anxiety are some of the most common diagnoses, with about 1 in 5 Britons experiencing symptoms in their lifetime.
If you have communication with your child verbally, hopefully they would give you some inkling that something is going on. The other thing to look at is a change in behavior that is not consistent with what you know about them.
However, Ms. Souza says symptoms in young people are more tricky to define.
Depression can show up as chronic irritability. It can even be anger, right? Seeing a child act out angrily. People think of depression as someone walking around crying, right? And that's just not the case. Sometimes it's just feeling nothing.
Anxiety can present itself in more obvious ways.
It's very much a physical condition, right? And you got to do something with that energy. And you're a young person and you're stuck at school. So you may act out in ways that don't look like you have a mental health concern. It looks like bad behavior. And then you're getting punished. And you're already depressed or you're already anxious.
The Bermuda Mental Health Foundation says it's important to educate students on understanding their overall health so they can better express themselves when things aren't going well.
We want to get out there and let kids know that these things happen, that mental health concerns are fairly common, you know, with the statistic being 20% of us experiencing mental health problems or concerns. It doesn't have to be like a major diagnosis as such, but, you know, things that we need to talk to someone about.
Counselors and psychologists agree that a healthy home life can increase a child's chance of healing.
I still maintain it may be old-fashioned, but to be able to have somebody you can talk to about it. Because when you actually put it into words, you define what it is, and you also then define what it isn't. So it's a way of putting it in perspective, and that's a really good start. And that can happen in the families or with friends.
The foundation is also expanding its educational programs into the workplace. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Thanks, Jasmine. In other news, children as young as 8 can be punished by law for cyberbullying under the Electronic Communication Act. Cyber Tips, a technology safety and security team, are urging parents to stay on top of their children's online etiquette. Parents can help reduce the instances of bullying, the sending of inappropriate materials, and illegal images by having access to their cellular devices.
The number one thing a parent should do when looking to monitor or police their child's online activity is to have access. So therefore you should have your child's password to their cell phone. As an adult, you register a cell phone number for your child. You are legally responsible for that device. It is legally registered to your name. Therefore, it is still legally your device, even if you give it to your child to use. So therefore, you should have access to it at all times. You should be able to walk into your child's room and say, I would like to see your phone, and not have to beg them for the password. So access is key. So it is illegal for you to post an image of someone other than yourself. It is illegal for you to tell someone to go and kill themselves. It is illegal for you to have a picture of someone under the age of 18 in your phone. So these are things that we do all the time. You know, I would post a picture of my friend and say, happy birthday. I have to have that person's permission to post that photo first.
CyberTips aims to encourage responsible behavior online for adults and children.
There is what we call responsible digital citizenship. What our young people don't know is that, or they ought to be educated about, is that they want a future. They want to be employed. Most employment agencies actually have people that they hire to see what is their online presence like. So if you want to ruin your chances, or post stuff that is inappropriate. But what I would say is that do not post anything that you don't want one of your siblings to occur to your siblings, occur to your parents. Think about, well, what would my mother or what would my father, grandparents, what would my siblings say? And let that be your guide. Have you seen stuff, have you seen postings that are totally inappropriate, have illegal, offensive, indecent, offensive? Absolutely. We're no different from any other jurisdiction. But what we're doing is trying to prevent and trying to educate.
If convicted of cyberbullying, the offense can also carry a fine of up to $50,000 plus 1 year imprisonment. Turning to weather news, baby, it's cold outside. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters to see how long this cold snap's going to last.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and hopefully you've had a great Tuesday. I know temperatures have been running a little bit on the cooler side, actually about 10 degrees below normal for this time of the year. And with that northwest wind, it has certainly felt a lot colder than that. And that has been ushering down a few more clouds throughout the island here. So the clouds and also the wind definitely keeping temperatures on the cooler side, at least for this time of the year. We're only in the upper 50s right now. We will see some improvement as we get closer to the weekend, as we start to get ahead of a cold front. That's when we'll see a surge in our temperatures. But for right now, it is cool outside. And if you actually factor in the wind that we've been dealing with today out of the northwest on top of the chilly temperatures, the lack of sunshine at times, it has felt as though we have been in the 40s. So it's been an unseasonably cool day outside today. Winds are still out of the northwest, anywhere from 18 to 22 knots. And we are still dealing with some rough conditions out on the water, especially outside the reef. Waves are running anywhere from 9 to 14 feet. So we do have a small craft warning that continues tonight, tomorrow afternoon, and also into Wednesday evening here. So heads up. If that's where you have plans on heading out to, it will be a bit choppy out there. Your tidal times located on the bottom of your screen. Our high tide coming in at 9:34 tonight, and then low tide coming in just before 4 a.m. on Wednesday. The good news, the winds, they've been kind of crazy today. They're going to start to relax. So we have that to look forward to tonight. A low of 53 degrees, so we get a little bit cooler. And we will still call it, say, breezy tonight, not quite as windy as what we've been dealing with today. For tomorrow, temperatures slowly starting to rebound, partial sunshine, and a low of 57 degrees. So we'll give it a thumbs up for tomorrow. And it's not looking too bad as we get into Thursday as well. We will have high pressure starting to build in, so we'll associate that with some fair weather conditions later this week. And then I mentioned we'll have a surge in our temperatures. That'll be ahead of our cold front. The winds will pick up, but we'll see the benefits with the temperatures before the rain moves in, and some of this rain is going to be steady. We could even have some rumbles of thunder into Friday night, and then some lingering moisture for a few days after that. So we're going to see the benefit with the temperatures, but if there's a negative side to things, we are going to see some more unsettled weather as we get closer to the weekend. All right, here we are. Current conditions. Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad feeling pretty nice with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. A few spotty showers around. And then looking at your travel forecast here, some wet times tomorrow on the East Coast, Atlanta up to Boston, New York City. Rain and snow showers there in Toronto, Canada. Here's your extended forecast over the next couple of days. I've mentioned those temperatures rebounding. You can see we get into the low 70s. However, there will be some rain. We'll get a window where we taper things off on Saturday, but it looks like we could have some more steady rain as we wrap up the weekend by Sunday.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
New Toyota Rush, Bermuda's biggest SUV with 7 seats. There's always plenty of room. Available at Bermuda Motors.
Hello, I am Diallo Rabin, Minister of Education and a parent of a student in the Bermuda Public School System. The Ministry and the Department of Education are hard at work providing an education system that ensures our children receive an education that prepares them to be competent and competitive participants in the working world. We are tackling infrastructure, grading, teaching quality and resources, curriculum, and student behavior and social needs. We are leaving no stone unturned to make sure that every child receives an education they need to reach their goals. This is a process that will take time, but we are committed to seeing the process through. To reach our goals, we need support from parents, teachers, and the community. We are asking you to reach out to your school and ask how you can get involved to support our students. For more information, visit www.moed.bm.
This is a message from the government of Bermuda.
And you're watching Bermuda Tonight. The Minister for the Cabinet Office, Walton Brown Jr., has officially reopened the Perot Post Office on Queen Street with members of the Stamp Advisory Committee in attendance. The post office will now house the Bermuda Philatelic Bureau after upgrades.
We're here today to officially reopen the Perot Post Office, which recently underwent a series of refurbishments and upgrades. Today, we also wish to formally announce that we will now be the new home of the Bermuda Philatelic Bureau, which was formerly located at the General Post Office building on Church Street. We view the Philatelic Bureau's relocation as a natural transition, as Perot Post Office is viewed as one of Bermuda's most iconic historical visitor attractions. We anticipate that this move will result in added revenue in the purchase of special edition stamps offered by the Philatelic Bureau. As an example, last year the Philatelic Bureau released 3 popular commemorative stamp series. One, in March, it released the 50th anniversary of the Bermuda Turtle Project. 2, in May, it released stamps commemorating the royal wedding of Prince Henry of Wales to Meghan Markle. And 3, in June, the Bureau issued a stamp series recognizing the Bermuda cedar handle bags.
Minister Brown also spoke about the benefits of the Bureau being relocated.
The benefits of the Philatelic Bureau presence at the Perot Post Office facilitates a number of things. Facilitates the higher profile of the Philatelic Bureau and a dedicated space from which to promote services and access to stamp collectors and general public. 2, it is ease of access to the post office for Bermudians who work in the area. 3, ease of access for our many tourist visitors, particularly the cruise ship passengers from ships docked in Hamilton. And 4thly, opportunity to promote awareness of Bermudian history through our story of Postmaster William Perot, or stamp collecting, thereby increasing revenue earnings in this area. The Bureau will also be providing services which are normally available at Perot Post Office in addition to their specialist services.
After the break, Earl Basin will have all the latest sports news. We'll be right back.
Hey Smokey, let's get lunch from the Marketplace food court. You know what? That sounds good. They have oxtails, pumpkin, curried lamb, lemon chicken, sweet and sour ribs, vegetable stir fry, and the variety goes on.
Their chefs are good. They'll set you right up with all the good carbons.
And don't forget the special dishes from the island.
It don't matter. No matter what you feel like eating, Marketplace will have it.
You know, it's quick, it's quality, and at prices you can count on.
Visit us 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Made for you daily at the Hamilton Marketplace Food Court.
At the Bermuda Festival, exciting shows will take center stage in 2019. In January, we feature Paul Taylor II Dance Company performing the signature group and solo pieces by legendary choreographer Paul Taylor. A Midsummer Night's Dream, the classic Shakespearean comedy follows. With a British cast and international creative team, this new production will feature Bollywood-style choreography. For tickets, visit PTix or BermudaFestival.org. Celebrating the empowerment of women, she is art. 44th Annual Bermuda Festival.
Let's Talk is back. The TV talk show hosted by Gary Marino airs live at 8 p.m. on Mondays. Real conversations with key figures in public life, going beyond the sound bites to explore and contextualize current affairs. And there's lots to talk about: jobs, tax reform, our changing economy, education, crime, and the environment. Discussing the issues that matter in depth and with personality. A new studio, a new look, or a new season. That's Let's Talk. Live Mondays at 8 p.m. on ZBM TV 9 and repeated at 7 a.m. on Wednesdays and Sundays at 8 a.m.
Now here's Earl Basin with tonight's sports package.
In an agreement with Bermuda Pacers Track Club, Skyport are the new sponsors of the formerly known Telford Electric Mile, with the new name being Skyport Magic Mile. Aaron Adderley, the president of Bermuda Skyport, explains why Skyport took the opportunity to get involved.
When the Pacers Club first approached us about the idea of supporting this event, we really didn't think twice. As an organization, we are very committed to the education and the development of our young people, and we try to approach that from a holistic standpoint. We look at education, we look at performing arts, but the missing piece was sports. And when this opportunity presented itself, we thought it was fantastic. It perfectly aligned with our objectives as it pertains to investing in Bermuda's young people. And so from Skyport, we're really thrilled about this opportunity.
The Bermuda Marathon weekend came to an end along Front Street with the running of the half and full marathons. 10K male and female winners Solomon Shifa and Meseret Bassa were crowned the half marathon champions, while Greg Cartmel and Stephanie Hodge were crowned the male and female full marathon champions. As we previously reported, Shifa would be able to outkick Tyler Butterfield as they entered the National Stadium on Saturday to win the 10K in a time of 32:24. Bassa would cross the line 7th, stopping the clock in a time of 35:53. The weekend had got underway on Front Street on Friday night, with Kemp winning the women's elite race, clocking a time of 4:50.2. Experience of the course play its part in it?
I definitely think so. I think it's the experience of the course and just the memory of being here that's so positive for me. So feeling the support of the crowd was awesome.
Ethan Davenport would break the tape in the male elite race, running in a time of 4:20.2. What did you think of the course out there today?
It was a pretty good course. I mean, the hairpins make it a little bit challenging, but we went out pretty slow, so it turned into like a very fast finish. And that downhill coming home is nice.
Work Academy students and members of the Harbor Amateur Swimming Club concluded competing in the Mallards Winter Long Course Invitational Swim Meet in Canada. Between the two teams, Bermuda would capture a total of 25 medals. Jose Allen Lemontage, Cantero Bean, Kent Bean, Milan Powell, Andrea McKee, Andre Joseph, Dominique Brown, Amira Vaughns, Kiana Aguera Vaughns, and Kailash Simons represented the Bermuda Karate Organization in the John Chung's World Cup Martial Arts Championships. Lemontage was crowned her Forms Grand Champion, while Kent Bean was his Forms Division Grand Champion. Milan Powell was crowned her division's Weapons Grand Champion. Bermuda Netball Association held 3 Senior League makeup matches at Bernard Park last evening with a surprise result as well as a top-of-the-table clash. The game of the night was the top-of-the-table clash between the league leaders, Lindo's Tigers, and the Phoenix Heat, with Phoenix Heat prevailing and avenging an earlier loss in the season, 32-19. The Phoenix Heat were led by Danielle Rayner, who scored 29 goals, while the Lindo's Tigers would get 11 goals from Demiqua Daniels. The surprise of the night saw Robin Hood draw with the North Village Lady Rams 28-28. And the Thunder would win the Battle of the Storm, with the Storm Thunder defeating the Storm Lightning 31-15. Action in the Bermuda Basketball Association's Winter League, sponsored by One Communications, continued inside the Bermuda College Gymnasium with a doubleheader that produced 197 points. In the opening game of the night, it saw a young Southampton Wolfpack team defeat the Hamilton Parish Rockets 58-56. Adam McDonough would lead the Southampton Wolfpacks to victory with 23 points, while Omar Wolf would lead Hamilton Parish with 24 points. The second game of the night saw the Hamilton City Twisters defeat the Warwick Rimrockers 52-31. The Bermuda Karting Club season continued at the Rubis Southside Motorsports Park with a full day of racing. Nathan DaCosta won all 3 races in the cadet class, while Scott Barnes won 2 of the 3 races in the tag senior class. David Sally would win the other race. David Barboza took the checker flag all 3 times in the Al 206 Masters class, with Ed Cook winning 2 of the 3 races in the Al 206 senior class. Justin Lindo won the other. The tag junior class saw Ashley Horseman win 2 of the 3 races, with Jaza James winning the other. Ryan Rebello won 2 of the 3 races in the shifter stock class, with Scott Barnes winning the other, and Austin Riley won all 3 races in the shifter modified class. Bermuda Rugby Football Union's League season returned to the National Sports Center on Saturday. In the ladies division, the Renegades defeated the Teachers 27-10, and in the other ladies division match, the Mariners defeated the Police 15-12. In men's division play, following a delay to sort through a suspension, the Renegades would defeat the Teachers 35-19. Before their game, the Police team and the Mariners team held a minute of silence for fallen Police rugby player Paul Mardison, who passed away whilst playing at the National Sports Center field back in 2006. In the game, the Police defeated the Mariners 38-12. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. That's our newscast on this cool Tuesday evening. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. And as we leave you with a look back at the launch of Bermuda Heroes Weekend. Good night.